How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to NTX Aviation. Today we'll be reviewing the Gemini Jet's 1 to 400 scale American Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 released in April of 2026. This aircraft is registered November 326 Romeo Papa. I bought this model because I would like to compare it to my NG models American Airlines 737 MAX 8, and it would also be nice to add on to my American Airlines collection, as that's the airline I primarily collected 1 to 400 scale. Without further ado, let's jump straight into this review. Starting with the packaging, the box features standard Gemini Jet's design with the fold-open flap here. From here you can see the model on the inside and the specifications of the model here. You can pause to read this flap if you please to. Here is the front of the box. Here is the top of the box, the left, the bottom, the right side, and the back of the box. As I unbox the model, you can see the models within its plastic tray secured. It's just the standard Gemini Jets one with the navy blue and the transparent top you can pop off. The model measures 9.9 centimeters in length, has a wingspan of 9 centimeters, and a height of 3.05 centimeters. These measurements are pretty much near perfectly accurate to 1 to 400 scale. In terms of materials, the model is made out of die-cast metal with the landing gear and tires made of plastic and rubber respectively. Starting with the left side of the fuselage, the paint on this model is accurate to the American Airlines livery. In fact, I think Gemini has always done better than NG in terms of accuracy on the paint for American Airlines livery. It's quite a hard paint to nail. I think Gemini's always done good with it, at least recently, in my opinion, though some people have different opinions on that, and some say NG is better, but I think Gemini always does better on it. I think the cockpit window is accurate, though I would like to note that on my model, it came slightly crooked, as you can see. It's not much, but it's a little bit. It's always been an issue that Gemini Jets has had to deal with recently, or not recently, but always. Just below the cockpit window, you can see there is a white outline around the radome. I'm not sure if the camera's capturing it very well. It's a very faint line. That's accurate. There's pitot tube details, and I'm not sure what that black dot is. Here's the L1 door. It has accurate stencils and positioning. Alongside it, here is the One World logo. I believe it is accurately sized. Here's the American Airlines logo. The coloration, sizing, and positioning of this is accurate. We have the emergency exit doors. These look fine. Here is the registration, November 326 Romeo Papa, and the American flag right there. Sorry, it's not catching very well on the camera. And here is the L2 door. Once again, I'd say it's accurate. Maybe a tiny bit too far back, but I think it's accurate enough. It might be perfect, I'm not sure. Here's the horizontal stabilizers right here. Maybe a bit closer. These are detailed nicely. There's the dots for the logo lights to shine light onto the vertical stabilizer. This is good. And then here is the vertical stabilizer here. It has good, where's this? It has good recessed areas along the rudder right here. The coloration is slightly, I think, undersaturated. It might be a tiny bit more saturated to make it perfect, but I think this is pretty well. Let's look at the engines here. The fan blade mold is accurate. There's not too much depth within them, but I think it's good for the scale and sizing of the model. So here's the engine. Of course, we already went over the front, but here's the side of it. I believe this markings are accurate. I'm not sure. Then they have the engine strakes on the inside of them. Looks good. They are positioned right. They are angled maybe slightly too low. I say they should be angled up maybe just a tad bit more. They included chevron details, and they have a nice metallic paint for the silver and the exhaust area. So it starts with like a metallic gray and then a silver. The cowling color is accurate around the intake area. They included a nice silver color. It all looks good. It's accurate, I'd say. And so we'll move on to the wings now. Over here on the wing, let me adjust this. We can see that there's the emergency exit walk path and then the walk area across the wing for maintenance. There is two different types of paint on the wing. There is the silver-like paint on the leading edge slats. Then there's a more flat standard gray, like a light gray, on the rest of the wing and the trailing edge flaps. Let's take a look at the winglets. I think these need to be angled slightly more. They look a bit too vertical to me. I think they should point out maybe a tiny bit more. And then here's the landing gear, or the main gear. The dark gray, brownish black rims are accurate. This model, or not this model, this aircraft in real life does have that color, though I'd say it's a bit more brown in real life for the color on the main gear. Sizing looks good. The wheels roll, as you can see. Here's the main gear. If it focus. There we go. Here's the main gear. It looks good. Has the lines on it for the pushback truck to not pass, and then whatever this other red line is for. I think it's for the wing walkers to not get too close to the engine. That all looks good. The seam on the wings is pretty good, I'd say. Not that noticeable, except kind of here on the leading edge. On the underside, it's pretty much perfect on the underside, I'd say. It looks pretty good. We'll look at the right side of the aircraft now. We'll just look for the cargo doors, as there's not much differences. So you have your right aft cargo hold and your front right cargo hold there. They look to be accurately sized and well. And I would like to mention they did include the fleet number right there. I believe that says 3 Romeo Papa, though camera doesn't capture it well. I'll have to confirm that. One thing I would like to point out is they did include the 2 navigation lights. Now, a plane like this does have 2 navigation lights, but only one of them is turned on at a time, I believe. So I think there should only be 1 dot here. We'll look at the top of the aircraft now. This is something I'd like to point out, and it's like the biggest thing I noticed about this aircraft. And it's surprisingly not a defect, as it's present on all of these models. There's a gray outline around the white SATCOM box or communications box, whatever that is. And it should only be a very faint line towards the bottom of this box here. It should not be over halfway up and taking up the majority of the box. So that's inaccurate, though you can see that they attempted that. Antennas, this front, or this mid one is quite large, I'd say the rear one is accurately sized, or the aft one is accurately sized. The beacon light looks fine, and these details and stencils look fine. Look at the APU area. Uses a silver, sorry, it's not focusing very well. It's using a silver paint to replicate it. There's no hole for it. And we'll show the underside of the model now. Gemini has not included antennas on their models for the past, on the underside of their models for the past 6 years now. Or probably more than that, too. But I think it looks fine on the underside, even though there's no antennas. You can see there's the tail strike thing on the 737 MAX, the tail strike detector. Looks good. Overall, I think Gemini Jets did a pretty decent job at capturing the model and the livery itself. I like the details of the, at least at attempting the coloration on the SATCOM box, though it's not fully accurate. And I do like how they colored the main gear to the proper coloration. I'd give it probably about an 8 out of 10. Of course, we have this one antenna that's slightly too big. Gemini has always kind of had too big antennas. But other than that, I think it looks really well. You know, they included a lot of details here, like the chevrons and everything, but you kind of expect that when you're paying $50 or so for a tiny little model. Let me know what y'all think of this model. I think it's great. Just tell me down below in the comments if you're gonna be picking this up or not. I really appreciate y'all for checking in and watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.